Hey, Wages World, what's crack-a-lackin' everybody? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 as I get going here. Please share this out as I get started. If you would, hit that like button. Alright, guys, we've had, we got this big hyperactive area of the sun here. This is SDO. It's a satellite from our perspective. It's in low Earth orbit, and it's always looking at the sun. I'll show you guys that this is an extreme ultraviolet view of it. And this is the 94 angstrom of light. All other light is filtered out. I'll show you some more angstroms here in just a little bit, but we're going to be concentrating on this area right here. And actually, we had one right here on the end of this run. You'll see it here in just a sec, right there. Yeah, the sun's getting active, and there was a huge one that went off the back. So we're going to be taking a look at that. But as of right now, we are actually getting the solar wind from this. Okay, high-speed plasma moving roughly at about 2 million miles per hour. Actually, it was actually moving a little bit faster than that, to believe that or not. And we did get into geomagnetic storming just for a brief amount of time, but it was I don't want to say brief amount, barely into it, and we kind of stayed at the low end of it. So you know, it is what it is. So and right here, guys, check that out. This is hold on one second, let me stop this real quick because I don't want this movie playing here. It slows me down, sorry guys. It makes everything like stuff starts to lag. Anybody that's been watching me for any length of time probably understands that this isn't normally what this magnetosphere model looks like. This is velocity. This is showing you the wind speed of the solar wind. Okay, so when we get up towards 800 kilometers per second, that's pushing 2 million miles per hour. That's very fast. Okay, a typical solar wind speed somewhere between 3 and 500. So I'll just say that, and we'll kind of leave that. But you know, there's so many factors that come into play when we're talking about getting into storming. Like, is it really, are we magnetically susceptible to all this at that time, or are we actually pushing things away? That's determined by the BZ, and we'll go over that a little bit also. But check out this sunspot grouping. Look at this thing. This thing it started firing and it just kept going, and we will go over a little bit why that is happening right now. I am kind of interested in that one that happened right here. I don't see a sunspot anywhere. And we'll take a look at that deeper on the other satellite. But as you can tell, this is the scale of Earth. And I guess I can just zoom in a little bit closer to give you guys a better understanding here how the size of things that we're talking about. And right here, guys, this is the Earth. It fits right inside one of those. These things are huge, okay? And I understand this thing is 93 million miles away, the sun is, and that's why stuff looks, you know, not as impressive as really what we should be looking at it as. But we also have the other end of that. People actually will overplay it sometimes. Well, not sometimes, all the time. I see it all the time. And that's why when we come out and talk about things, we don't want to overplay it, because when it's time to get real, we want people to listen, right? So I'm not going to come out here and say anything. People want to go over here and start crying wolf. You know, it really does. It affects the whole community. And we become numb to what people are saying. I see it a lot in the prepping community too. Just because we haven't had some big massive SHTF event doesn't mean that we shouldn't be preparing somewhat or all the way for something like that. Whatever your position is on that. Hopefully, guys, we prepare our whole lives and never have to use it. That is really the goal. And anybody that tells you anything different than that, I have to call them a pessimist. I mean, it's just what it is. Why would you want that, to happen? So, if somebody's coming out saying, hey, now there are things that happen on cycles, like we have the super flare cycle now, right? We just had a couple papers come out on it, well, at least one that I know of, peer-reviewed, and I showed it to you guys. They expect the super flare to pop off the sun every 100 years. It's been 165 years since we've seen one hit Earth. And that was back at the Carrington event. That's considered a super flare. Okay? But they're talking something that is 10 to 50 times stronger than that. So we have to understand that too. So it's not that we're overdue, but we are overdue, right? Now when they're saying our sun super flares every 100 years, they're talking about overall. Now we can have these super flares and they're not directed at Earth, right? If it goes off the backside, a flare that big is going to affect the whole solar system no matter where you're at, okay? We would probably get a radiation storm from it. We would see all of that stuff, right? Hey, Angel Wings, thank you for that. 9 months, baby. That's right. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. 9-month member. Good to see you in here. Glad you're here. Thank you for that. Thank you for being a member for so long. Yeah. You've been a member probably since the first. Hey, Anna, good to see you. Ain't seen you in a minute. So good to see you. Let me highlight that message there, Angel. Thank you. Thank you for, just sticking with me, It's important. It means something to me anyway. So thank you. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. All my mods, love y'all. I'll get to you guys here in just a few minutes. We'll get more into that here in a minute. But I do want to also, guys, be thinking about whether or not you want to do a members only tonight. If you want me to, I probably can. So I'll be looking to ask you guys that later on in the live stream here to see if you guys want to do that after this one. We'll check out some Zoom court and some other things if you guys want to. If people are tired, want to go to bed, get ready for work or what have you tomorrow morning, I get it. And if that's the case, then we can push it off till tomorrow or whatever. But if you guys want to do one tonight, we can. So let's go ahead and had a really nice time tonight too with my family. We went out to Texas Roadhouse from some gift certificates we got at Christmas. And we fed 5 big eaters for $1. I'm not even kidding. We got our bill, it was $1. So we tipped the waitress like 26 bucks. I mean, we always do anyway. Those people, those girls and guys, they work hard. And if you get any kind of good service at all, those they got babies and stuff to support and everything. Cemetery, hey buddy, good to see you. Good to see you, Cemetery. I remember for 7 months. See, guys, this is what I love, because I'm glad we started the members thing, because it truly does put in perspective how long we've been doing this and how long you guys been supporting me. So it really, at least it lets me see it better. Okay, now back to this. I'm trying to stay focused on this, guys. So forgive me if I don't pop in that chat for a few minutes here. But you got solar wind moving pretty fast, and this is the magnetosphere. Okay, this is what this model's showing us. Obviously, that's Earth. Stuff's coming from left to right because the sun's to the left, right? Or correct, I should say, at that point, I guess. And what we're looking at here is velocity only. This is showing you nothing but how fast the particles are moving. And you can see where it says negative, and this over here doesn't have a negative. The magnetic polarity there, the negative and the positive here, they do that because that's what determines the direction the particles are flowing. Okay? So when you got a negative, that means they're going from left to right. Okay? They're flushing through. If you get the blue color, see these darker blues are moving at the same speed as these dark red ones, but they're moving the opposite direction. Okay? Now, to explain that just a bit further, I could take you back to a different time in this model, but right now I'm not going to mess with any of that right now. But we usually see that blue color inside of our protection. And what happens is when we get hit in the front, some of those magnetic field lines will get broken or disconnected, I guess you could say, from the source, which is the Earth, right? It's still there. It's still connected on one side, but it's kind of flopping around out here. So when it gets back here, it reconnects. And when it reconnects, all those particles grab a hold of that line and filter right to the backside of Earth. Anything back here inside our protection, it grabs it and boom. And it moves really, really fast. Typically these darker blue colors. So we'll see a pressure build up on the backside of Earth. People ask me that all the time. How come we see a pressure build up on the backside and not on the front when the stuff's coming from the front? Well, mostly because we're deflecting all this stuff here in the front. Okay? It's getting pushed off to the side. It's getting, the Earth's magnetic field's doing its job. But in the process of that, sometimes those magnetic field lines will get broke. And when they get broke, they will reconnect eventually. And that will usually be back here. And you can see it. It's so clear when it happens. And I've shown it to you guys multiple times. This right here, guys, this is just density. Okay, basically this is how many particles are in that area, right? And it doesn't look as impressive, does it? It just simply doesn't. And let me tell you why. The lighter colors are low density. Typically we see this white inside of Earth's protection. But what we're seeing right now, we're seeing a buildup around here. And I'm going to explain to you why, okay? You're seeing a density buildup, but we also, around Earth here, we have a very low density. So what's happened is, because we're in this solar wind stream, up here, you see this? Okay? What happens is, those particles get inside our magnetosphere, and they become dense. They hang out right here. Well, when this finally breaks and this solar wind stream kind of goes away, this density will come back. Because what happens when it gets hit in the front, it just keeps pushing it out if it's moving fast. In other words, it's taking these particles, moving them real fast from left to right. Okay? From the sun behind us. And we call it kind of like a flushing effect, and we see it. It's very clear, like at the end of a solar wind stream, when we're getting a solar wind from like this coronal hole right here. When we're getting that solar wind, when it gets here, we wait for that to happen, because you'll clearly see these colors will go back to more of a neutral here in the yellow, and just inside here you'll see like almost the Earth almost looks like a comet. Well, I can do this. Hold on one second. Let me do it this way, because I can show you this. Okay. I think I already hit that. Okay. Alright. I can show you that right about here. Let's just yeah, I'll use this one. I didn't need to do that, but here we go. Let's do this. I don't know if that's going to show. Is that going to be there? It's not wanting to show up there. No, it's not wanting to show. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to show it to you. Sorry. It's not wanting to do it for me. So I'm not going to waste the time on that. So anyway, it looks more like this right now. You see how this is? That's more of what we would see. Okay? That's what we would, expect to see. So we get a bow shock out here in the front. That's the first point of contact. And then anything inside of that is really under Earth's protection magnetically. So that's why you get a lower density and a lower speed typically inside of that. That's our magnetosphere. But you see this density, how you kind of, watch how it breaks right here. Watch how the density is kind of starts to dissipate right, see something back here, and then right here. See that opening up? And this is very typical. Now, a lot of people are going to say, hey, this looks kind of weird, right? Well, it does, because we're inside of a big curtain of plasma that's moving at 2 million miles per hour or faster. That is not normal conditions for us. That's a solar wind stream. Now watch back here. Okay, this right here is the Z cut. So we're kind of looking from the side here. Okay, this is a side cut. That's a top down view over here on the left. But did you guys see how that kind of moved down? I'm gonna grab the slide bar here. Now watch this back here. Okay. See how we got all that density build up right there at the beginning of this run? And then boom, you see what's happening there? We're starting to get rid of some of it. That's why you're seeing that happen. Okay? Now watch the tail back here kind of just sling down. See that? Now, when that's happening, what's going on here, a lot of times, that's a polarity change in the magnetics. Okay? At least that's what I've noticed, and that's kind of what I observe. And it's clearly seen here on the phi angle. This right here is the polarity of the solar wind. See how it flips positive, negative a lot? So when you start seeing that, that's when those things are happening. And, you know, when you're inside the solar wind stream, it can change multiple times. And it can put us into storm levels really, really easy just changing that. Okay? Because it just basically yanks on us. But if we come down here and we take a look at the density, check this out. We got to, that's this here. I'm trying to get to that one dot right there. Right there, 824 kilometers per second. That's well over 2 million miles per hour. Probably closer to 2,250,000 miles per hour. Guys, that's fast. Remember, 3 to 500 is what we consider normal. 300 isn't even on this graph right now. So, now, what you're going to notice, though, when you get this high speed, we will get a lower density, right? So, when we take a good hit from a solar wind stream, both of them are high at the same time, right? And that's exactly what you see right here. The density here was at probably 12, 15, something like that. I don't know exactly. Let's get it back there if I can. It may not, it's going to be too hard to show that, I think. Let's do it this way. There it is, 13. Alright, so that's a little elevated, but at the same time, we've got solar wind moving that fast. So watch what happens. As it continues to blow fast, look what happens to the density. It falls out. Why? Because it's exactly what I said a minute ago. Talking about the flushing effect. When things are moving faster left to right, it'll grab more of those particles and it gets it out of here quicker. That's why we see that. So typically when you see a rise in speed, you're going to see a drop in density and vice versa. Now, like I said a minute ago, when you see them both go up at the same time, that's indicative of like a CME or the beginning or even in the middle of a solar wind stream from these coronal holes that we get. Now remember, guys, this isn't a hole in the sun. This is a hole in the corona, the atmosphere. The surface of the sun is colder than the atmosphere of the sun. It's something it's odd to us. They're trying to figure out why they sent, you know, the Parker SP, and I've said that a lot of times. They sent that probe out there. It's a satellite. It's been inside now twice. They might have put it in and put it back in like 3 times now. I can't really remember. I know at least twice over the past couple years. And they got some good data readings in the corona of the sun. And I was kind of explaining to you guys the switchback theory that they were kind of talking about, how the energy inside there just kind of it's going up and down and gets trapped in there, and because of that it increases the heat so in the atmosphere. But the reason why this is black is because of that. Okay, the surface is colder than the atmosphere. So that's just, we'll leave it at that. Now, let's see here. But I wanted to make sure I covered that for you guys and let you guys understand what was actually happening. Now, if we come over here and we look at NOAA, this is Space Weather Prediction Center. If you guys look at the official forecast here and what's actually happening, you see these right here. This is the KP index. This is the index we use to measure and see if we're into geomagnetic storming or not. A KP of 5 would put us at a G1 storm. Now, we really flirted with this for almost 2 days now. Now we're on the back end of this solar wind stream. Okay, this is starting to calm down. Now, look what's going on up here now. We're getting hit with multiple M-class flares. These are gonna, some of these are probably going to end up going X-class very shortly. Okay, they have the potential to do that. But you see these M-class flares, the majority of those never produced any kind of significant CME yet. Not our direction. Now, I did notice it did look like that last one could have. And let me show you why I say that. This is LASCO C2 or C3. This is on the SOHO satellite observatory. It's 1,000,000 miles closer to the sun than what we are, and it's always looking at the sun. Always stays in that position in front of us. It basically gives us like an hour heads up when something's coming our way, right? But this is an actual physical disc on the imager. It blocks the main part of the light of the sun. This right here is trying to represent the surface. That's an actual arm holding this disc in front of this thing, okay? And so watch what happens here. When we see what we call a halo signature, we see energy poke around this occulter disc. That's what that's called. It's called an occulter disc. Because it's occulting something. Light. Or the sun, however you want to say that. But if we see it give us a halo, in other words, all the way around it, we see energy coming out pretty much at the same rate and at the same time. We see kind of like they call it a halo because it looks like a halo. Now, when we see that, we don't know exactly if it's going off the back or if it's coming right at us. But one of those two things is going to be true when you see a halo. Now, with this halo, as it's moving here, when we see that, we always look, right? We used to have Stereo A that kind of sat out over here. We had a side view of it. Stereo A is now sitting next to Earth, kind of over here. So it's not even from our perspective anymore. It's actually kind of even looking just kind of over this direction. It's odd. But that satellite's outlived its lifespan, so they're not. I don't think they're going to send it back out where it was, which really kind of sucks because we kind of had a back view of the sun here, and we don't now. At least not a good one. So what I'm saying is, when we had this out here, we would be able to be really, really definitive when we seen that halo signature, because we could look at the sun from the side, and we could tell if it went off the front, our direction, or off the back. So now what we have to do is we have to look at these coronagraphs, right? So that's what this is. That's what this imager is. Now watch right here at the end. Okay, that is from that last eruption right there, I believe. So I do think that this last eruption does look like it produced a significant CME, and it looks like it could be coming our way. Now, I'm not going to say 100% on that yet. I'm still waiting on data to come in, and we're going to be looking at that tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning at some point. See how that one happened too? That one went off the back. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. I can show that to you. So watch how we get an eruption right here, and it blows out right about there. See that? So when you see that, you wonder, is that coming at Earth or not? I mean, so how do we know? Well, again, we have to go look somewhere else, right? Well, there are a couple models actually that we can look at if they update. And that's the problem. Sometimes they don't update very quickly. This is the NASA model. Now, this is not what it looked like 10 minutes ago when I started this live stream. So I could pretty much tell you right now that CME that we just seen pop off the well, let's just go back to it so I can show it to you. This right here, that one there, most likely is this one right there. Okay, that's actually moving very, very fast. Looks like, yeah, that's moving fast. It doesn't look like it's very big, so that's what's got me questioning whether or not this is really the one that we're seeing here on this one, right? Is this? Let me go back to it. This one here just looks bigger and more intense than what this is showing. Now there could be a second one after this, and this model hasn't updated yet. But earlier, because I wanted to show this to you, and I can't go back and get this historic data on this, at least not while I'm live. There was a big eruption earlier on today off the backside of the sun. It was huge. Okay? It went off straight off the back. It was very clear on this model, and I was hoping to be able to show it to you. But because we had another CME, this one updated again. So we're kind of looking at the new CME here. So that's just what I'll say. But yes, this would confirm that we do have one coming at us, though. This is a top-down version. This is a side cut. So top-down will let us know east-west on the sun, right? If it's going east or west in line with Earth, which is the yellow ball here. This is the side cut. This will let us know north-south. So if those are both showing a hit, and then you look over here, this is Earth's orbital line stretched out in a straight line, and all three of them are showing a hit. Now, if this is what's hitting us in a couple days, this would not be very significant. If this is what this model is trying to represent. Which is why I'm saying that this doesn't look like that would be something that small, is what I'm trying to say. This looks more dense. This looks a little bit more powerful to me, just from what I've experienced in the past. Now, we have one right there. That was earlier on today. That's the one that went off the back. Okay? So, and then, yeah, that's the next one you've seen. But there was a couple more up here. But, again, guys, we're going to have to wait on data. I don't want to say something that's just completely wrong. I won't do that. We got time. We can be patient with the CMEs, okay? It takes it at least 2 to 3 days before they get here. So I want you guys to understand that. So when somebody jumps out here and starts just ripping off stuff to you, talking about CME's coming, and it just left the sun, I'm going to come out here and tell you, hey, yeah, we had a CME just left the sun, but we're not 100% sure yet what direction it's going, because there's no way to know that immediately. We have to wait on data to come in. Okay? So, every squirrel gets a nut once in a while, right? So, yeah, that person's going to be right once or twice, when he says that, but he's probably going to be wrong, or she's probably going to be wrong, or he or whoever is going to be wrong, the other 10 times they say that. I learned my lesson very early on with that, having to come back out and apologize to you guys for being wrong. And that's why I started having that patience. It's like, I'd rather get it right than to be the first one out here. That's just how I operate, guys. I nowcast. I change my format of what I do here, to do that for you guys. To nowcast it instead of trying to go outside of what I'm comfortable telling you guys, and that's, forecasting. I can't forecast out, 5-6 days. They can't even do that. Nobody can, really. This model here, this is NOAA. This is the official forecast, right? This right here they're showing is probably going to change. It's 4 or 5 days out. It's probably going to change. And what's good about this and what they do, they will change this if the data comes in and shows something different, which I think is awesome. There's not a whole lot of models out there that do that. Once they show it to you the first initial time, that's the last update you're going to see, typically, unless with this one. This one, they change it to the current data whenever they update it. You guys can come down here and see when it was created, so you know the last time that it was updated down here. So what this model is showing us is 2 days historic data. They know what happened in the past, right? And then they try to forecast out 5 days. And I try not to go out that far because it just doesn't. Yeah. Hey, is Planet Hermit in here? I ain't seen Planet Hermit. You hear Planet Hermit? Hey, Pam B, good to see you guys. Big Chase, Stephanie's here. Jay Poss in the house. Wise Jim, what's up, girl? Tim, what's happening? Yeah, you're right. Hard-boiled egg. That's a good analogy. Okay, now, guys, give me a roll call as I get moving here, if you would. And if Planet Hermit's in here, just let me know, would you? I get concerned with my pizza in here. I didn't see a couple people here. I think I seen Mist in here earlier. And I get it. It's Sunday night. I'm not sweating it. I just make sure people are okay. Genius by Design. All those people that are usually here all the time. I don't see Ilea here either. Of course, I seen Jammer. What's up, Jammer? Hope you're feeling better, bud. Kim Possible's in the house. Fan B, there you go. Cemetery. Loving it. Loving it. Love you guys. I really do. And thank you for sticking with me for so long. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And what we're going to look at here is obviously you're going to see these are the hyperactive region, right? Now, as this continues to do what it's doing, we're going to have to just keep an eye on it. Now, if I come down here and I change this to the colorized magnetogram, we'll be able to tell a few things by this. Hey, Trish, good to see you. Okay, for sure, Miss. Thank you for that. Yeah, guys, prayers for Miss, please. We could get some ones down there in that chat for that. She's got a nasty drive every time she has to go to the hospital. It's not an easy drive. It's dangerous. So, and she just had surgery. She had cancer and had it all removed, from what I could tell from what she was saying, which was great news. But she has to go back for bandage changes once a week, I believe is what she was saying. So, let's see here. Lake Michigan, Grass Lake, Michigan. Jammer's in the hizzy. Jerry, hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Love to see my mods in here. Love it. Hey, Nikki. Lower class citizens in the house. Cheryl, what's up? Jitty Ball, north, southwest. What's that say? Oh, north, southwest Australia. I'm confused on that one. So we'll just call it Australia. I love my Aussies. I see you in here all the time, though, Jenny. Thank you for being here. R. Hobbs, baby, the whistle pig didn't see his shadow here in Michigan. Well, yeah. Yeah, I forgot today was Groundhog's Day. I wonder what did Punxsutawney Paul see, or that's his name, right? I'm pretty sure. Punxsutawney Phil. Phil, my bad. That's right. Oh, is today your birthday? Heck yeah. Hey, we got to get some birthday stuff in there. Hey, Harley, good to see you, bud. Nicole, what's crack-a-lackin'? Dr. J-Man's place, what's happening? It's good to see you guys. Happy birthday. I'd sing the song to you, but you guys want to know something strange about that? In case you guys, Cemetery, in case you guys did not know, and I'm serious when I say this, the happy birthday song is copyrighted. I don't know who owns it. I'm serious about that. So when somebody sings that on their channel, they actually will, the algorithm will hear it and they'll demonetize it. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. That is like, yeah. So just so you know, it's kind of like we can't say super, that thing you eat cereal out of. You can't say that either. That's why everybody calls it the big game, because that word super and eating vehicle, yeah, that's copyrighted too. So anyway, let's see here. Okay, 6 more weeks. All right. Well, God's Land Down Under. Hey, I like that. What a cool name. The world's oldest person must own it. Yep, exactly. Or he could have been like Michael Jackson. He bought everything that he could get his hands on. Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy. He owned the rights to the Beatles too. You guys know that? I think Lisa Marie owned the rights to that. To the Beatles songs. But they were, can you imagine having that kind of catalog? I mean, you could sit on your butt the rest of your life and just collect royalties and just not have to worry about nothing. Well, that'd be why he had an amusement park in his backyard, I would say. But anyway, hey Alyssa, good to see you. J-Poss in the house. Okay, but check this out right here, guys. You guys see this? You see the development of this, how fast? Watch right here where my cursor is. Watch this. Look at that. That is crazy. Okay? And it's not like it's like odd or never seen or before or never happened. I'm not trying to say that. It's just that is very, very... It's developing really quickly. And what the issue with me with this is, when you get the reds and yellows mixing, we get reconnection events. Hey, Rick Sanchez, Spirit Animal, good to see you. Dubious Maximus, what's happening? Yeah. Main Girl, what's up? Disney owns it. Okay, thank you for saying that. See? Told you guys. Hey, Tiffany, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I kind of got off the rails there a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, guys, when you get these reds and yellows mixing, we get reconnection points. Okay? Reconnection events, I should say. So when these things get... Hey, Drops, what's up? Good to see you. I'm seeing a lot of people in here I ain't seen in a minute. That just tells me I need to be live streaming earlier than what I typically do. And I've known that. I apologize, guys. I'm trying to get back to that. I truly am. This is my daughter's senior year, and everything that she's got going on is my priority, just so you know. I watched my two boys grow up, and I feel like I missed some of it. I'm not doing that with my daughter. And she had snowball dance last night, and I'll share this with you guys. And she came home last night, and first thing she did was she turned her phone on to a song. I'm not going to say the name of the song. She wanted to dance with her daddy. So I slow danced with my daughter. That was so freaking awesome. She even wanted to do that with me. Yeah, it was. I get emotional even talking about it, but yeah, I'm not missing any of that, guys. So that's yeah. Anyway, back to the sunspot. Okay, so when you get the reds and blues mixing, and I've said this 1,000 times. This is why this is so hyperactive. Look at this. Look at all this just mess. It looks like somebody took red and blue marbles and just threw it in there. You know? It just is. That's just what it looks like. So when you get these things mixing together, you get reconnection events, and that's when you get flares. Okay? They're positive and negative. That's what those colors are representing. This is a really big area. Okay, they would call this kind of like a coronal prominence area, just because there's so much going on here. Sometimes you'll hear them call them coronal prominences because there's not really just one centralized sunspot. There's just so many cores here, guys, that just... And they all got their own number, okay? Like this right here will have its own number, this will have its own number, all that. Something else I'm noticing here too, you know, the polarity on these sunspots should be east-west or west-east, right? Left-right, right-left. I'm seeing some north-south action going on here. Only 3% of the sunspots present north-south. So when you got all this mess happening right here, you're going to have some of that, I think. It's just kind of like what it is. So why I'm kind of talking this one to death is the fact that when you're looking at this, it is now in the Earth strike zone. Okay? So any and everything that this thing does is on the table for hitting Earth with whatever it's doing. Okay? So I want to make sure everybody understands that. And that's first and foremost here, because anything it does do, if this thing blows the CME, it's not going to miss us. It's right in front. Hey, Mary, what's up? Hey, Renee, good to see you. Good to see you. I like seeing everybody in here. You guys warming a brother's heart that needs that heart warmed up a little bit, I'm telling you. So when you see this, guys, if you guys come over here to SDO, please do. Okay, I'm serious. Please come over here to SDO and just start clicking around. All these links are in my description box anyway. So if you come over here to SDO and you hit home, okay, it shows you where the satellite's at. It says, where is SDO? And you click it. It's going to show you exactly how this satellite operates. It's in geosynchronistic orbit. What that means is it does this figure 8 pattern at all times. It never leaves this area of our planet. Okay? It's over top of that area at all times. But it rotates its eye to keep it on the sun. Like the Lord of the Rings eye. Right? You can see it rotating here. That's how this satellite operates. And what we look at, typically, this is a magnetogram, but typically what we're looking at, guys, is, let me go, where did I see that at? Let's just back that up. Back it up again. Okay, so we're the AIA HMI browse data. We're going to look at extreme ultraviolet light. That's what we're looking at. And you can change it to whatever you want, whatever angstrom that you're wanting to look at. What we just looked at with the green was the 94. The purple is that. Why do we look at different angstroms of light? Because we're looking at different gases. Okay? And it gives us a different visual, and it helps us understand what's going on better. So, if I change this to the 131, which we'll be able to see flares, and sometimes we can catch plasma on this one too, leaving the sun. This is the one I'll typically show you guys for flares, because it shows it really well. I don't know why. Oh, we're back too far here. That's why. I was like, what the heck? We're back here in January still. Sorry. Let's go here to the 1st. So the 1st to the 3rd, we'll let this thing load again. As we do that, we'll come over here to Dr. Tony Phillips. This is his webpage, spaceweather.com. You see how he's got this grouping here? See all the cores here? Now if I click on this, look at that. That's just a mess. So right now, officially, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 just in that area. And you got 5, 6, and 7. Now there was one here, guys, that we had that small eruption, but there was no sunspot. That's why I tell you guys the sun can do what it wants, when it wants, and how it wants to do it. Okay? It's just as simple as that. You don't have to have a sunspot to get a flare or a CME. Okay? Now, as we're looking at this, you got the Venus-Moon conjunction. They're talking about that here also. I'm not going to like dwell on this because I want you guys to go over here and see it, because he did the work. I don't want to just like grab his stuff and just, like some people will do. I promise you, if you look long enough, you'll find somebody that will take this picture and crop it about halfway and post it on their video that they're doing, and they'll just have about half of this and act like they're the ones that were talking about it. It drives me nuts, guys. I can't stand that. I really can't. I don't care about my stuff, because anybody can use my stuff at any time that they want. I don't care. Run with it. That's how I tell people. I don't care. But these guys, this is what they do, right? This is their stuff. We're allowed to talk about it, use it like I'm using it. This is fair use. I'm basically reacting to the article, and there's, that's allowable. And I could go deeper. I could just read this verbatim to you guys, but I don't, because I want you guys to come over here and give the people that did the work some of that traffic. Okay? So if you could, please do that. Hey, Monk, good to see you. Well, thank you. Thank you, Durkin. Appreciate that. I try my best. I really do. I don't, I just know how hard it is to get this stuff put together. And when somebody is doing that, especially when it's their main source of income, I just don't think it's right. People need to do what they do, right? I mean, it's no harm in showing this, because it's actually getting him more traffic over here. But when you just take it and act like it's yours, it makes me sick. It really, truly does. And you know, and to be honest with you, there people that do that, it's almost allowable, because if they say, "Hey, I transformed it into something different," they can do that. I just think it's just not the right thing to do. You know, it just isn't. Okay, Suni Williams on the Canadarm. Yep, I remember this. I was reading this too. I'm not going to go into that. But guys, please come over here and check this out. Also, if you guys want to know like fireball reports, right here. Okay, there's an all Skycam network set up across the globe, and it's what it is they're fisheye lenses that look up in the sky, and they catch fireballs. And they record them here. Plus, you can report fireballs also. But the ones that they catch, they'll map out their orbit around our sun. They'll do that, and then you can actually go down here. Thank you for doing that, Mist. Hey, Pam B, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. We're going to be doing a members drive here the next week or so. By the way, yeah, Dr. J Man's place. Yeah, exactly. And that, you know, they get away with it because if they transform it at all, that's fair use, and you know there's nothing anybody can do about it. You know, you don't. You know, I again, if I come over here and I just like let me highlight this real quick. Hey, Kristen, good to see you. Good to see you, sister. Yeah, Mary. Yeah, it really is. In my opinion, it is when people do it like that. Oh, what we got? Gifted memberships? What we got? R. Hobbs, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Awesome. Well, I'm assuming you're a man. R. Hobbs. I'm not sure what your first name is, so if I mislabeled you there, I apologize. Let me know so I don't do it next time. Well, I'll try not to do it next time. ask who do I always do that? Wise Jen. I've gotten Wise Jen. I've called her a dude I don't know how many times. And it's like, what are you doing, Mark? Come on, man. You know better than that. It ain't what it is. I'm trying to get that highlighted. Pam, what am I doing here? What am I doing wrong? Somebody help me. I need help. Help. Come on. There it is. Okay, I got it now. Okay. R. Hobbs? Who else did that? Let me see. Who else we got? Somebody else has gifted some more. Renee, thank you, girl. Appreciate you. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff, guys. Thank you. You guys are awesome, man. I mean, I just don't even... I get so humbled when you guys do stuff like this. It really does touch my heart. It truly does. Sometimes I just don't even know what to say. It just is that way. But yes, thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Yeah, I know, Wise Jen. I mean, I'm sorry. I just, yeah. It just really. Did you answer me right? I don't want to get this wrong. Let's see here. Encourage all to join what? Yeah, for sure. The Meteor Society right there. Yes. You guys read that comment right there. It's a good thing to do. If you guys come here, they actually will near Earth objects. You guys will see it. They map it out here. That LD is lunar distance. So when they discover a new meteor that could be hitting us at some point, they'll plot it here. And you'll notice that most of these have the current year, because guess what? That's when they discovered it. Some of these get discovered after they've passed us. Billy Bob Thornton said in the movie Armageddon, if you guys remember, he said, what did he say to the president? He said, begging your pardon, Mr. President, but it's a big-ass sky. That's what he said. I thought that was one of the best lines of that movie. Because it is. You're never going to see everything, guys. I mean, I think it's kind of... it's an impossible thing to expect that any agency, any kind of whatever is going to see everything, guys. I mean, it's a huge... Yeah. Space is a big place. So we'll just leave it at that. Okay, so I don't really have a whole lot more here, guys. But I wanted to make sure I touched on all that, because I do think that if we come over here to space weather, the official... Now, I will say this too, guys. Aurora is going to pick up. This is the Aurora Oval. We can dig deeper into that later on in a different show. But what we're going to do here, I'll run this model. You'll see that it just now tapered off not too long ago. Okay, this is a 24-hour run. Look what happened. This is last night. You see this? That's when we were deep inside that coronal hole stream. So we stayed right there for a really good amount of time. And then, you know, and this is a good way for me to show you this too, guys. See how the Aurora started dipping off? Well, guess what else dipped off? The density and stuff. Everything started to come back down to normal. You see that dip in the data. Okay? You see that dip, and it'll match up time for time. Aurora immediately will increase when we get hit with this stuff. Okay? It just does. It's really that simple. I've always said this. Aurora is one of the most like data things or models I can show you that will immediately tell you whether or not we're getting hit with space weather. Because you won't get Aurora without space weather. And if we don't see Aurora, guess what? There's really no space weather hitting. Nothing significant. Now, again, you guys know magnetics is what drives all of it, right? Oh, look at this, guys. We might be getting hit with another flare right now. Let's look here real quick. This right here is the D region, and this is looking at like elevated X-ray flux. But what this will show, it'll be like a dartboard on the day side of the planet when we get hit with flares. And the reason why that this is important is because this causes radio blackouts. Now, I will say this too. Our planet is 70% water. So what does that mean? That means 70% of the time, things are going to happen over top of water. And the last I looked, there's not too many houses being built in the middle of the Pacific. Okay? But if you know what I'm saying there. What I'm saying is, that's why we look at this. Now, just because the bullseye's here doesn't mean that the radio blackout conditions don't stretch out this far. And also, when we get a radio blackout from these kinds of things, they're typically last between an hour or two. And unless we continue to get hit with the X-ray, they will 100% just die off. The radio propagation will come back to normal. That's why we're looking at this D region. Okay, the absorption. How much of it's absorbing, that kind of thing. That's what this is showing. This model here will also show radiation storms. Because with the radiation storm, you'll see kind of sometimes this bullseye on the day side. But you'll see on the North Pole and the South Pole regions, it'll just flood out with this red color. And if you see that, that means we're in a radiation storm. Okay? What that is that's an influx of protons. It is a massive increase of protons that get trapped in that area of our atmosphere. Okay? So, and we pay attention to that because anything after a S1 radiation storm can affect us. Now, an S1 radiation storm, some people don't even report on them. I do because it's space weather. That's what we do here. But an S1 radiation storm will affect nothing biologically. So you don't have to worry about that unless we get into S2 and higher. Okay? That's just why they decided to measure it like that, I don't know. But that's what they do. So, and we can actually look up, it's up here, guys, right here. Solar proton flux. So when we get an increase in protons, This will go up to a 1. If that's at a 1, that's an S1 radiation storm. And, you know, it's like a thunderstorm system, guys. You know, I guess I've explained that probably at nauseum. At some of you guys are probably like, why do you keep repeating that? Well, because I'm going to say this too. Guys, did you know it takes, if you hear something that is, if you hear it 14 times verbally with your ears, your brain will remember it. So if you're trying to memorize something, say it out loud 14 times. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be able to recall it right away, right? But your brain will remember it. And if you throw some extra techniques in there, you'll be able to grab that whenever you need it. Also, multitasking. This is something people don't know about their brains either. It is biologically and physically impossible for our brain to multitask. When somebody's really good at the apparent multitasking, all that means is they're able to pull up stuff very, very quickly. They're able to find that file really quick. They're not doing two things at once in their brain. Your brain can't do that. Okay? Look it up. I've done a lot of research on that for other reasons, but that's something I thought was very, very interesting. So when somebody is like what we would call really good at multitasking, their brain is just really good at picking up and bringing back up recent memory. Okay? And they're able to go back and forth really, really quick between what's in front of their face and something that just happened 5 seconds ago. So their brain just kind of bounces back and forth. But at no time is that brain able to think about two things at once like that. It can't do it. Your brain can't do it. So, yeah. And that's what my research has shown me anyway. And I've not, you know, matter of fact, I've talked to my some of my doctors and stuff about that, and they're like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't. But people don't tend to talk about stuff like that because, I mean, is it really useful? I don't know if it's useful. It just helps us understand how our brains work a little better. And sometimes that can actually help us understand why we're feeling a certain way. And that's why I was doing it. But on the grand scheme of things, is it necessary to know that we can't physically think about two things at once? Probably not. Not for most people. It's just stuff that I know. Stuff that I've researched in the past. But, oh, check it out. 333 people in the chat right now. Exactly. Hey, Hilly Billy, what's up, my brother? Man, you can drop in here for 15 seconds and you got me laughing, Hilly. Oh my gosh. I mean, just wow. That's all I can say. I just don't even, sometimes I have to give it to you, man. There's not too many people that can do that to me. I'm serious. You're one of them. You make me laugh like the second you start talking. You're cracking me up. Cracking me up, man. And I appreciate it. Because, let me tell you, we all need that. So. Okay, guys. Alright. I am going to go ahead and probably... guys, I will be back tomorrow. 100%. I may do a morning video, especially with things that are going on right now. It does look like we're going to get pretty busy. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this area, okay? And I hope that you guys do too. Oh, I don't need to show you that now. I don't think so. Hold on a minute, guys. Yeah, I don't need to show you this. This is, I showed it to you over on SDO. This is Helio Viewer, and I try to show it to you guys on this because we get Earth scale here, and it helps us understand, you know, better of what we're looking at if we can kind of scale it to Earth here. But you know, for what we did today, it's not necessary. So I'll just leave it at that. All right, guys. But again, guys, get over and check out Dr. Tony Phillips. Get over and check out Marfugal. Miss Dragon's in here. Prayers for her always. Happy birthday, Pam B, and anybody else that has a birthday. And guys, Renee, thank you for the gift of memberships. R. Hobbs, thank you for the gift of memberships. Pam B, thank you for the super chat. I love all you guys. I will see you tomorrow. And thank you for all the prayers and stuff lately. I need them. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Matt, me and my family need it right now. And it just, yeah. I'm not gonna go into it now, but we've had something else happen too. So, some more stuff just getting piled on as far as health and all that, and just, nobody could do anything about it. I just, prayers for everybody. So, Jammer, my brother, thank you for the headset and stuff, man, and the mic that you got. It works really well. So, just so you know, thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate you guys. I really do. Yeah, if most of you guys know, I spoke to you guys about my wife. She's having surgery on in March, early part of March. Her ear, the big C, she's gonna have, well, a lot of it taken off, and she has to have it fixed and reconstructed and all that. But there's something else popped up during her testing, and yeah, I'm beside myself with some of it. I just don't know where to go sometimes. But please don't concentrate on that. We're going to be staying positive here. I don't want my channel to become that. You know what I mean? So, but I do think it's fair to let you guys know sometimes why I'm a certain way or why I couldn't get to do a show. I don't want to just leave that hanging. I don't think that's fair to you guys. So, but just so you know, guys, and again, I'm not going to go into detail. It just is not fun right now. But we all got issues, right? And that's what we all got to pray for one another, and that's what we do. So, good thoughts, prayers, whatever you guys do, let's just do it. And I tell you, if you talk to Mist right now, she'd probably tell you it works. So, I do, brother. Dr. Damon, I do. I appreciate you guys. I truly do. Truly do. And just thank you for sticking with me for so long. I know that, there was a time there where I wasn't doing too much content, a year or so ago, 2 years ago. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys for just staying subscribed and letting me work through that. And it's awesome. So it didn't go unnoticed, just so you know. Hey, John Boy, appreciate you, brother. Yep, he's old school right there, man. He's OG. Renee, you're awesome, just so you know. You guys, but yeah. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink.